Damn, Solana is down again. According to this article on Cointelegraph, Solana's network is down and validators are acting to restore service. It says the Solana mainnet is experiencing downtime and block production, and block progression is currently halted, with core engineers and validators actively investigating. The Solana Blockchain Explorer confirmed the downtime by flashing a major outage on the mainnet. And this isn't the first time that Solana has had an outage. It's had a lot of them in the past, but it has been almost a year since the last time this happened. It's definitely something that shouldn't be happening with blockchains like this, but apparently it's still in beta technically, and since it's almost been a year since their last outage, maybe they are starting to get these bugs sorted out, so maybe this is just nothing but growing pains. It says validators will be restarting the mainnet beta cluster using version 1.17.20. Jitters Solana release is also available. I guess they're just going to turn it off and turn it back on like a computer or something, and hopefully that's going to solve the problem. But it is true that a blockchain is supposed to be immutable, and this kind of causes a problem when it comes to that definition, because being able to turn the blockchain off is basically muting it, and then turning it back on might fix the problem, but it definitely means that there's still some real bad centralization problems going on here. It says it's not the first time the Solana blockchain has faced network outages or downtime in block production. The network has been plagued by multiple outages since its launch, and the latest outage will be the 11th in 2 years. So it looks like they had 10 outages year before last, and then over the past year, they've had 0 until just now. And with them already having reduced the outages by 90%, it looks like they're well on their way to having a stable blockchain, but it looks like they do still have some progress to go, obviously. Whenever they get these bugs sorted out, though, I think Solana is going to be a real juggernaut, because Solana handles over 5,000 transactions per second in real-world scenarios, but has reached as high as 65,000 transactions per second in testing. 65,000 transactions per second is basically what Visa has, and since Visa is actually able to settle transactions for real-world purchases and all kinds of business around the world, I think that means Solana could be a contender, but they have to get rid of these outages, because during outages there's obviously 0 transactions per second, and that's just unacceptable. Solana is theoretically capable of handling 710,000 transactions per second, but that's never been seen, and that's just theoretical. And they're definitely never going to get that far if they keep seeing these outages happen. But eventually, this is probably the kind of transaction flow we're going to need to see on these blockchains. And whenever it gets fully developed, like I said, I think this is going to be a juggernaut. We just got to wait and see how long it takes them to get everything sorted out. Here we have a deep dive on Solana that is actually on the Visa website, because they did have a partnership with them last year. And it says Solana's transaction fees are not only affordable, usually less than $0.001 or 0.1 cents, but predictable. And that's actually astonishing to see on the Visa website, and it probably means that they're going to be trying to adopt the technology, or else they'll get replaced by them, because this is way lower than even Visa's transaction fees, and it could be a game changer for businesses that actually have to pay for all of the transaction fees that you perform doing business at their establishment. It doesn't seem like much, but it could greatly increase people's profit margins. And whenever the network becomes more stable, I think this is going to be a really attractive prospect that could actually cause merchants to start adopting the technology just based off of the money they could save off of fees alone. It says Ethereum averages about 12 transactions per second, which pales in comparison, obviously, to Solana. And due to gas limits and smart contract requirements during times of congestion, users can experience minutes of wait time before transactions are confirmed. Solana, as it says here, has about a 0.4 seconds confirmation time. And again, I think this is going to be something that's going to be really important whenever it comes to merchants actually adopting the technology, because who the heck wants to stand in line for 10 minutes waiting on a Bitcoin transaction, or however long it takes for Ethereum to confirm a transaction as well. It says right here around 3 minutes. And while Ethereum is a lot faster than Bitcoin, 3 minutes is just way too long to be standing in line and waiting for your transaction to go through. Really, I would say that even Stellar and Algorand are pushing it at around 5 seconds, and anything over that is pretty much unacceptable. So I think that if I was going to have to make a transaction and standing in line and wait for it to actually go through, I would probably choose Solana because it's got the lowest waiting time. But if Solana's network was down or something, I guess I'd go with Avalanche or Flow maybe. Regardless, I think if we're actually talking about cryptocurrency being used as currency, this is going to be something that's really important. And in my opinion, the positives here definitely outweigh the negatives of it having some network issues every now and then, especially because it's in beta. And hopefully they're going to be getting these bugs sorted out before it actually goes mainstream and we start using it for transactions every day. Right now, this technology is still in its infancy and it's not being used that much, honestly. So if it's having some network problems, then like I said, that's basically growing pains. And it's probably something that we're going to have to deal with every now and then until the development process is complete. According to Benzinga, Solana actually had a really great year last year, and we saw that it actually had some of the greatest gains, especially out of the top 20 cryptocurrencies. And that's largely due to the fact that they had some really big partnerships that were announced last year, including the Solana Foundation working with MasterCard Inc. to improve trust, security, and interoperability between Web 2 and Web 3 apps. And Visa got in on the action as well, expanding its USDC stablecoin settlements pilot to Solana. And then in August, Solana Pay announced that it was integrating with Shopify as well. And it looks like credit card companies and merchants like Shopify are also seeing the importance in fast transaction speeds and low fees. And I think this is going to continue attracting big-time players like Visa and MasterCard, but I think they too are going to be pretty concerned about this outage, so hopefully Solana and the developers get it fixed and it doesn't happen again. In positive news, here we have an article by CoinDesk that says Bitcoin ETFs have seen $700 million in net inflows as BlackRock and Fidelity gains offset GBTC outflows, according to CoinShares. It looks like GBTC is finally starting to run out of Bitcoin that they can just flood onto the market, causing more downward pressure. But BlackRock and Van Eck are still seeing buying pressure and is finally starting to outweigh the GBTC outflows. So maybe this means that BlackRock and Fidelity can actually send the price up soon. But I think just like you and me are, they're probably waiting for some kind of catalyst and for Bitcoin to actually break out of the sideways momentum that it's been seeing, because they're in it for profits as well. And if they don't think that the price is actually going to go up without them just being the only thing pushing it, then they're probably not going to continue buying a bunch of Bitcoin just so that you can take the profits out of their pocket. Luckily, though, it looks like the halving is coming up quickly, and it looks like the earliest date that it might actually happen is on April 17th, which is in only 71 days. And usually the price of Bitcoin does start exploding and going parabolic pretty much right after the halving happens. But right beforehand, it sometimes has downward pressure or it goes sideways and consolidates. And this is probably just because people are only waiting on the halving, but also because there's not really many catalysts. So hopefully on April 17th, in anticipation of the big parabolic movement, companies will start to announce their big developments that they've been working on for the past couple of years. And I think that would be perfect timing, as people are actually probably going to have more money around that time, because right now they're actually struggling to pay their taxes, and the tax deadline is April 15th. So people will probably have less of a financial burden at that time, not to mention they might even have some refunds to throw into crypto. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is Solana dying because of the network continuing to go down, or is it going to be a juggernaut like I said? And when the heck do you think Bitcoin is finally going to break out of this sideways consolidation and start going back to the moon? Either way, thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. But most importantly, don't forget to have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.